Hey everyone, RJ here. Welcome back to the channel. And today I want to explain why this is one of the worst Samsung phones ever made. Okay, so this is the Samsung Galaxy A15 5G. And in my opinion, it's one of the worst phones Samsung has made in quite some time. And there's a lot of reasons behind that. But it's not all bad, okay? There is two things about the phone that I do like, and I will actually share that before I get into all of the other negative things about this phone. So reason number one is the build quality, okay? It's got a really nice build to it. You can look at it, it looks like the 23 series, 24 series. Basically, if you put it into a case, you ain't gonna know the difference between if this is a premium phone or a budget phone. So the build quality, it is made out of plastic on the back, on the sides and all. So it is a plastic material, but the build quality is really solid. Number two is the display. The display, of course, we know that Samsung makes some of the best displays out there. This one has a full 1080p Super AMOLED display. And as you can see here on screen, that, if you want to watch footage, whether it be in 720, 1080, up to maybe 1440 if it will allow it, the colors are very bright, they're very vibrant. You can see here on video that it just looks good. And then if you're watching Netflix, if you're watching YouTube, or you want to watch something like this right here, like nature scenery stuff, it's going to be very nice to look at here on screen. So I would say that is the two main things about the phone that I like. Now, the rest of the phone kind of falls apart and goes downhill from here. And unless you're just someone who wants a phone for extremely cheap, who don't care about performance, okay? Cameras are not all that bad either. I would say I will say the cameras in there is a number three reason why, if you're looking for an extremely cheap budget phone, the cameras on here are going to take passable photos, passable videos, and, I don't have any kind of footage to show you on photos or videos, nothing like that. But I would say that, for photos and videos, it's going to be adequate enough and very good lighting to get the shots that you want without any problems. But where this phone falls apart at is in performance, okay? This phone runs the MediaTek Dimensity 6100 Plus processor, and that processor is just way too weak. In my opinion, they didn't do anything to upgrade from the A14 5G they made, I think, what was it, last year. And they make this phone right here, they bring it out with a later version of Android from the beginning, and they call it an upgrade, and basically all you're really getting is the same phone that you got last year, probably the year before that. And the performance just does not get any better. And so I would say the performance is horrible, okay? It's super choppy, it's super laggy. You really cannot do anything with this phone. If you are in a fast-paced environment and you're wanting to get this done and this done and this done, this phone is going to just say, okay, I give up, I surrender, I can't handle it anymore, because the performance, the processor just cannot handle it, along with the very low RAM that is in this phone. And it's just horrible. Now you may ask me about gameplay. Can it play games? Well, yeah, it can play games. I have a couple of samples up right here. Asphalt 9. I got it set at a default setting here, and the game plays just fine. You're not going to have any issue whatsoever. I got it hooked up to an Xbox controller, so that's why it's hands-free. But, it's going to play Asphalt 9 just fine. It's going to play your lower-end games just fine. I would not try to play any kind of graphically intensive games, because, believe me, it's not going to handle it whatsoever. Switching over here to Call of Duty Mobile, and you can see the Call of Duty Mobile also works pretty good. There's not really any issues, really any hiccups with it, whatever. So as far as the performance goes, if you're using this phone very lightly and you're just using it very light, and you're opening up a game and you're just playing a game, you're not going to have any problems with the performance. No problems with anything like that. It's going to be doing just fine. It's whenever you really get into those really graphically intensive moments where you're having to use your phone very, very, heavily. If you're out and about and you want to check this, then you want to check this, and you want to check that, the phone's just going to sit there and just be all weird and not do anything at all. So I would say that for a phone that costs $200, that's retail price. There's a lot of phones out there that are this price, maybe a few bucks more, a few bucks less. It's going to surpass this phone 100 times over in performance and in every other way possible. Yes, you can get this phone for free at like Metro. You can get it for very cheap at places like Boost Mobile and other MVNOs. You can get it for dirt cheap, but even at dirt cheap, you're getting ripped off. There's phones out there like the Moto G Stylus 5G 23 model that's going to fly past this phone without any problems, and it's going to be just as cheap, okay? Even at retail price, around the same price, you're going to get a much, much better experience. So, honestly, I'm going to keep this short as possible. If you want a phone that's going to give you any kind of performance at all, if you want something more than just decent cameras, a good build, and a super AMOLED display, that's just where this phone lands at, okay? Those three things are decent, but if you are, wanting to use your phone as an actual phone, this phone here is not for you. So that's all I wanted to say about this Galaxy A15. One of the worst phones Samsung has put out, in my opinion, in a long time. I had the A14 5G, and to me, it done better, performed better than the A15 did. Not every upgrade is an upgrade. We all know that. So honestly, if you haven't picked up the A15 5G and you're considering it, my honest opinion, just don't do it. Okay, find something else. Moto G Stylus, like I said, is one of the top ones I'd recommend if you're wanting to stay in a cheap price range. But anyway, other than that, stay clear of the Samsung Galaxy A15 5G. So anyway, so informative anyway. That like button, any questions you may have, leave it down below. If you're new here and not a subscriber, please consider subscribing and turn on that bell for all post notifications for future videos, and I would appreciate it. Y'all have a good one, and thanks for watching.